Jakob Ingebrigtsen, just made the announcement his fans have been waiting almost a year for. After surgery, after months of silence, after missing his entire season, the Norwegian star finally revealed what happens next. But here's the twist. What he chose to run is not what most fans expected, and the words he used to explain it say even more. He said it himself. If you're waiting for the perfect preparation, perfect conditions, perfect timing, you'll be waiting your whole life. That line is why Jakob Ingebrigtsen is walking back onto a track after a year most runners never fully come back from. And by the end of this video, you'll hear exactly why he decided now was the moment. In his own words, to understand how big this comeback really is, you need to understand how dominant Ingebrigtsen was before all of this started. He is a two-time Olympic champion. He won 1500-meter gold at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, then added 5000-meter gold at the Paris Olympics in 2024. He is also a two-time world champion in the 5,000 meters. For years, he was simply the runner nobody wanted to see on the start line, because everyone knew what was coming. Then, for close to a year, he was just gone. No races, no updates, just silence from one of the biggest names in the sport. That silence started with pain. Ingebrigtsen had been quietly fighting since April of the previous year. He pushed through it. He raced anyway. He lined up at the World Championships in Tokyo, hoping his body would hold together one more time. It didn't. He failed to even reach the 1500-meter final. Then he finished a distant 10th in the 5,000. For a runner who had won gold after gold after gold, this was not just a bad day. This was a warning sign his body had been sending for months. The injury was in his Achilles. But it wasn't the tendon itself causing the damage. It was the sheath around it, called the paratenon, which had become covered in scar tissue. Every stride was rubbing against damage that would not heal on its own. Ingebrigtsen described it later in blunt terms. He said the tendon was fine, but the protective layer around it had been ruined. By January, the pain flared up again during training, and this time there was no pushing through it. Surgery became, in his own words, 100% necessary. He traveled to California to have the procedure done by a specialist at a well-known sports medicine clinic. He posted a photo from a wheelchair, wearing a protective boot, and told his fans this was not something to take lightly. But he also said it was the right decision for the long-term health of his career. Recovery from Achilles surgery can be brutal. In the worst cases, athletes need up to 10 months just to get back to competing. Ingebrigtsen hoped for something closer to a couple of months, but even he admitted the timeline carried real uncertainty. Nobody, including him, knew exactly when he would race again. What made this stretch even harder for fans was the timing. This surgery landed right in the heart of what should have been his season opener period, the stretch where he normally builds sharpness through smaller races before peaking at the big championships. Instead, he spent that window in recovery, watching from the sidelines while the rest of the distance-running world kept moving forward without him. And this pattern was not new for him either. This was not the first time an Achilles problem had disrupted his season. He had also missed most of the previous outdoor season for the same reason, only managing to return in time for that disappointing showing at the World Championships. 2 years in a row, the same injury had chipped away at a career that once looked untouchable. So when the silence stretched on this time, plenty of fans quietly worried this comeback might slip away completely, just like the others had before it. Months passed. He resumed training in spikes during an altitude camp, working quietly at high elevation to rebuild his fitness away from cameras and headlines. But there was still no date. His manager identified several possible comeback races over the summer, meets in Monaco, London, and Budapest, where Ingebrigtsen could have made his return. He skipped all three. Every time fans thought the comeback was near, it slipped further away. Then came the post that changed everything. Ingebrigtsen shared a message on social media teasing that he had heard great things about the city hosting this year's European Championships. No details, no confirmation of which race, just enough to send his fans into a frenzy trying to figure out what it meant. His team followed up fast. His spokesman and Norway's national athletics director both confirmed to Norwegian media that Ingebrigtsen would be racing, but neither of them would say which event. For days, that mystery hung over the sport. Would he attempt the same double that made him famous, gold in both the 1500 and the 5000? Or would his team play it safe with just one race after such a long layoff? Reports out of Norway leaned toward the 5,000 meters, but nothing was official. One Norwegian outlet even published a report naming the 5,000, only to walk it back and soften the wording to say it merely had reason to believe that would be the choice. That back and forth alone showed just how tightly Ingebrigtsen's camp was guarding the decision. Then Ingebrigtsen ended the guessing himself, and this is where his own words matter most. He confirmed he will compete in the 5,000 meters. But he didn't just announce it, he explained it. He wrote that anyone who has watched him race over the years knows competition is what drives him. He said he is healthy, training has been going well, and after talking it over with his team, they reached one conclusion: there is no reason not to race. That single sentence answers the doubt that had been building for months. The 1500 meters is the race that built his career. It's where he won Olympic gold in Tokyo back in 2021. Leaving it out, at least for now, suggests his team is still being careful about how far to push him, even while insisting there is no reason to hold back. Instead of chasing the full double immediately, they appear to be easing him in with a single race and building from there. But this comeback carries real risk. While Ingebrigtsen was recovering, the sport did not wait around for him. Rivals kept racing, kept improving, and the competitive field in the 5,000 meters has only gotten deeper. He will be stepping onto that start line with zero competitive racing since Tokyo, going up against athletes who have spent the entire year sharpening their form. One name that will not be there is Josh Kerr of Great Britain. Kerr, one of Ingebrigtsen's fiercest rivals in recent years, already announced he is skipping this championship shortly after breaking the world record in the mile. His absence removes one obstacle, but it does not remove the bigger question hanging over the whole event. Can Ingebrigtsen actually compete at his old level after everything his body has been through? That question will not be answered by press releases or Instagram posts. It will only be answered on the track in front of a home crowd that has waited over a year to see him race again. The event opens the very first day of the championship, meaning there is no easing into it and no extra time to find his rhythm. Ingebrigtsen closed with one more line, short and simple: "Thank you for all the support." After a year of surgery, silence, and setbacks, that gratitude says just as much as the confirmation itself. He knows what this race means, not just for his own career, but for everyone who has waited this long to see him compete again. And on August 10th, in front of a home crowd and a field that never stopped moving forward without him, we finally find out if perfect timing was ever the point at all.